Somewhere right now, someone is having a stroke and they don't know it yet. Not today, not in this exact second, but 24 hours from now, their brain will be starved of blood and the warning signs are already there, quietly, almost invisibly, happening right under their skin. Most people think a stroke is sudden. A switch flips and life changes forever. But that's not how it actually works for a huge number of cases. The truth, the one most people never hear until it's too late, is that the body often whispers before it screams. I'm here to make sure you hear the whisper. Because here's the unsettling part. In 2026, stroke is still one of the leading causes of death and long-term disability worldwide. Tens of millions of people will have one this year, and a significant share of them will have experienced subtle, almost dismissible symptoms in the hours, sometimes the full day, before the major event hit. A headache that felt different. A hand that went numb for 90 seconds, then came back. A word that just wouldn't come out right. And then, nothing. The symptom passed. Life continued. No ambulance, no doctor, just relief. That relief is the most dangerous moment of all, because what most people just experienced wasn't nothing. It was a transient ischemic attack, what doctors call a TIA, but what the body is really saying is, this is a rehearsal. A TIA happens when blood flow to part of the brain is blocked, briefly. The clot or blockage clears on its own, symptoms fade and reprimersters, and the brain recovers almost as if nothing happened. But nothing happened is the lie the body tells you. Something absolutely happened. A pathway just got a preview of failure, and the data is brutal here. Roughly 1 in 3 people who experience a TIA will go on to have a full stroke, and a meaningful portion of those strokes happen within 48 hours of that first warning sign. Not next year, not next month. Within 2 days, 2 days. That's the window most people don't know exists. That's the window this video exists to protect. So what does the day before actually look like? Not the dramatic movie-style collapse. The real signs are smaller, sneakier, and far easier to brush off, which is exactly why they kill. It often starts with the face, a subtle droop on one side, so slight that even people looking directly at you might not notice unless they know to look. You might feel it before anyone sees it, a strange heaviness, like one side of your face has quietly clocked out for the day. Then there's the arm. Reach for your coffee cup and something feels off, not painful, just weak. Maybe it drifts down when you try to hold both arms up. Maybe your grip feels 30% weaker than it did yesterday, and you blame it on sleeping wrong. Then comes speech. And this is where things get genuinely chilling. Words start to slur, just barely, or you know exactly what you want to say, but the sentence comes out scrambled, like your brain and your mouth stopped agreeing with each other for a few seconds. This is where the medical world built an entire emergency framework, FAST. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty, time to call emergency services. It's blunt, it's simple, and it saves lives specifically because it forces people to stop rationalizing and start acting. But FAST covers the obvious cases. The day before signs are quieter than that. And this is the part almost nobody talks about. A sudden severe headache unlike any you've had before. Not a stress headache, not a hangover, but a thunderclap sensation that makes you stop what you're doing. Sudden vision changes in one or both eyes. Blurring, darkening, double vision that clears up in minutes and gets explained away as tired eyes or too much screen time. Dizziness or loss of balance that comes out of nowhere. You reach for a wall, a chair, a counter, convinced you just stood up too fast. Confusion that lasts only a moment. Forgetting a word, losing your train of thought mid-sentence, feeling like the room briefly didn't make sense. Numbness or tingling on just one side of the body, a hand, a foot, half a face, that fades before you've even finished wondering what it was. Individually, each of these feels explainable. Stress, dehydration, bad sleep, a pinched nerve, that's exactly the trap. The brain is built to find the least alarming explanation for ambiguous signals because alarm is expensive and the body conserves energy by assuming the boring answer first. But strung together, even loosely, even with hours or a full day between them, these are not random glitches. They are a pattern, and patterns in medicine are never coincidences. Here's what's actually happening inside you when this is unfolding. A small clot, or buildup of plaque, partially restricts blood flow to a region of your brain. Brain tissue is brutally unforgiving about oxygen deprivation. Neurons start dying within minutes of being cut off. In a TIA, the blockage is temporary, the blood flow returns, and the tissue survives. But the underlying cause, the unstable plaque, the irregular heart rhythm, the narrowing artery, hasn't gone anywhere. It's still there, still active, still building toward the moment. It doesn't clear on its own. That's the trap of feeling fine. Feeling fine is not the same as being fine, and certain people are walking into this window without even knowing they're at elevated risk. high blood pressure that's gone unmanaged for years, quietly thickening artery walls, atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat that lets blood pool and clot inside the heart itself, then send that clot traveling straight to the brain. Diabetes, which damages blood vessels slowly and silently over a decade. Smoking, which constricts vessels and accelerates plaque buildup. A family history that nobody bothered mentioning at the last holiday dinner. None of these conditions announce themselves loudly. They sit quietly in the background of ordinary life, until one day the background becomes the headline. This is why public health authorities have been pushing harder than ever in recent years to close what they call the recognition gap, the dangerous delay between symptom onset and emergency response. Studies have repeatedly shown that the people who survive strokes with the least lasting damage are overwhelmingly the ones who got treatment within the first hour, sometimes called the golden hour, when clot-dissolving treatment can still reverse the damage before it becomes permanent. But that golden hour only matters if someone recognizes what's happening in the first place. And right now, even with all the awareness campaigns, a large percentage of people having stroke symptoms wait. They wait to see if it passes. They wait for someone else to notice. They wait until the symptoms are undeniable. By the time undeniable arrives, the golden hour is often already gone. This is the gap this video is built to close. If you, or someone near you, experiences even one of these warning signs, a fleeting weakness, a slurred word, a vision blackout, a face that suddenly feels wrong, the instinct to wait and see is the single most dangerous instinct in that moment. Not because waiting always ends badly, but because you cannot tell, in real time, whether this is the rehearsal or the real event. Nobody can, not even doctors, without scans and tests. The only safe assumption the moment any of these signs appear is to treat it as the real thing until proven otherwise. Call emergency services. Don't drive yourself. Don't lie down and wait for it to pass. Don't let embarrassment about overreacting cost you the only window where treatment actually works. Because the alternative, the version of this story where the warning sign gets dismissed, doesn't usually end with relief. It ends, often within 24 to 48 hours, with the full event. The one with permanent paralysis. The one with speech that never fully returns. The one that turns an independent life into a dependent one overnight. And here's the part that should genuinely unsettle you. This isn't a rare, freak accident kind of risk. It's one of the most common preventable medical catastrophes in the modern world, and the warning system is already built into your own body. You don't need expensive technology to catch it. You don't need to wait for an annual checkup. You need to know what to look for, and you need to take it seriously the first time it shows up, not the third. So the real question isn't whether your body will ever send a warning sign like this. For an enormous number of people, especially as risk factors like blood pressure and irregular heartbeat quietly increase with age and modern lifestyle stress, the question is simply when, and whether you'll recognize it when it happens. Will you notice the droop in the mirror? Will you catch the word that came out wrong? Will you treat the 90 seconds of numbness as nothing, or as the most important warning your body will ever give you? Because somewhere out there, right now, today, someone is having that warning sign. And in 24 hours, their story will either be a close call they're grateful they acted on, or one they never got the chance to finish telling. Which one will you choose to be?